secrets, nothing more. I checked the drawers, I checked the spikes, left me hanging in my Nikes. Last night we tore up the town, now my wallet's not around. Call the cops or play it smooth, pay my debts and start anew. Hey, hey, where'd it go? My cash, my cars, my flow. Don't you know what's gone? Now I'm broke from dusk till dawn. Dancing lights and screaming bass, drinks were flowing in that place. Left a tip but lost my grip, now my wallet's gonna slip.
In a world where financial advice is as blurry as a wild night of cheap Jell-O shots, clear your head and your monetary halitosis with the About That Wallet Show hosted by Anthony Weaver. Leave those Jell-O shots for the amateurs and learn to indulge in the top shelf bottles, baby. Now, here's your host, Anthony Weaver.
Oh, what up, everybody? Hopefully y'all are having a wonderful day today. So actually I want to start off with that. I've heard somebody say that my intro is very long. And over again, they tune into my show. You're brand new to the show. You hear that my intro is too long. It's about 2 minutes long to get through. However, when I'm up here watching anime and I'm watching other TV shows, it usually takes them about 2 minutes to get things through. So what say you folks? Those of you who've been listening to the show for so long and really been vibing with me, I'm taking your comments first because you guys are my circle. You guys who've been here with me for years. Some people have been new to me even just last year. But for those of you who take time to tune in to listen to my live shows, thank you. And for those of you who are new, just welcome to the show. Enjoy the vibes. If you feel as my intro is too long, I'm sorry. But one of the things that I want to talk about too is that I have a lot that's been happening. To say like my show is ready for a pivot, it's about time to start thinking about how to really take time to understand what it is that I'm doing and what I want to do for you and how I can continue to provide value for you all. Hey, what's going on? I want to say Daryl. I think I remember this, Daryl. So thank you so much. Yeah, it is my show. However, I'm doing this for you because I do this for my audience, and this is what I'm here for. Because, without me putting this together and really making sure I provide the information, I want to make sure that the information is valid, it's good to go, and something that you can actually take action on today, not wait till tomorrow. And some people are like, oh, well, sign up for my course, and that's how you get more information. No, I want you to be here because this is what you want to do. I want you to be successful in everything that you're doing. And I just want to help you go from not knowing anything to at least create that curiosity to start learning more. So with that said, I wanted to share that first to kind of say this is the reason why I do what I do. And thank you so much for all of you who said that y'all really enjoy the show. Y'all either would text me, send me a DM on my Instagram, or even shoot me an email. And this is not like, hey, I'm shutting the show down. I just want to give my praise to you all because this is my first show for Black History Month. And, we got to stay true to our cause. And I want to make sure that I do that for you and make sure that this is good. So, let's see. Yes, I think the intro is too long. This part of the reason why I only do music and thank you at the end of the show. Nothing at the beginning. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Greatly appreciate you sharing that. That is something I can actually look into. Yeah, definitely. Daryl, you're right. I could actually take a poll to kind of share this out with everybody like that inside the in the community to see what's going on. So maybe I'll do that as a follow up to see. So I might shorten it, might do a little something, or save the music for the end. Who knows? We'll see. But so I wanted to share that with you all because there's something that I've been thinking about shifting and so forth. Now, one of the things that I'm planning on doing is start getting into the topic. And I know that I actually do a lot of deep breaths and so forth. It's only because um like I'm always holding my breath when I'm talking. I'm not sure what it is. I'm still working on it, okay, you guys. But let's dive right into it. We all have that case of the Mondays, right? And we hear that a lot has been going on when it especially comes to Monday. We hate Mondays. I personally dread Mondays because it's like getting up, I gotta get back in the routine, and it just takes a while to get back into the mood of work. Your alarm clock goes off for the first time in 48 hours. Then you got to deal with traffic, waiting in traffic because everybody got to go to work the same 9 to 5. And it's just crazy. So that's one of the things I want to talk about today. But let's get to these little comments right quick before I dive into the full content. Let's see. Lisa, you said lies are different. Oh yeah, lives are different than my regular content, but I'm trying to increase engagement. Don't want people to drop off. I completely understand when it comes to people dropping off in the beginning. It's very important. But also, if we get straight to the topic, sometimes I kind of miss that. So what I might do, I might cut back to my little 30 seconds that I used to do for my intros and keep it there. But I'll figure out something. I'll have something fun because, this is Thursday. We doing Friday Eve. We got to do some fun stuff. We got to talk about what's happening and everything like that. Hey, what's going on, people on Instagram? Hopefully, y'all can hear me clearly. Let me turn on the light for you guys because, since y'all down bottom, gotta make sure y'all can see. All right. Ooh, it's kind of bright. But anyway, hopefully y'all can see me a little better. So let's see. Like 20 seconds does work. I can do that. And what's going on for the first time? Let's see. John Donson. Thank you for coming through on the YouTubes. All right. So trying to do Instagram live at the same time as we're gonna work this out today. All right. So I spent some time talking about what's going on, what's happening. I do want to say that I've interviewed, I think I'm up to 170 some people I've interviewed so far. And I have to say that I've learned a lot over the 5 years, coming up on 6 years now doing this show. And I realized that for those of you who've been following me from the beginning, I used to actually started my show. My first episodes were on Mondays. Then I switched to Thursdays. Then it became Fridays. And I just got tired of it. And then I moved it all the way around back to Tuesdays based on analytics and research that I've been doing as a podcast host and a show. And mostly that I felt as though on Mondays is that it was such a tough time because I would stay up all night, Sunday, trying to put things out there. And it takes a while to do that. And it helps to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do so that you can be successful during the week. And so that's the reason why I do Tuesdays is because it allows Monday is kind of like my last push for the day. I'm getting in the routine. I'm doing the things that I need to do. And it got me thinking, am I the only one who don't like Mondays? Why is Monday seeming to be such a horrible day to kind of get started? Why is it that day out of all the days out the week is the hardest? And I was doing a little bit of research. Come to find out from this is science.org website. I'm gonna see if I can share my screen for you guys on YouTube. For you guys on Instagram, I'm gonna just try to read it as much as possible so y'all can hear this. Because I think this is very important information here. It's the reason why I did the show today. is that this is from science.org. They said suicide can mean suicide most common on 2 days of the week. And out of those days out the week is Sunday and Monday are the peak days for adults to undertake the act. And the most way of attempt out of multiple attempts of trying to committing suicide is by poison. So I want you to think about the person that is having a rough time on a Sunday. I want you to think about the person that's having a hard time during the weekend on a Friday, home by themselves, not doing anything, or even home again on a Saturday. It just feels dreadful on Sunday. I want you to take a moment to just reach out to them, check in, just to say hi. Because if we all know right here, it's right here in the Center studies that Monday is a peak day. So I want you to think about that and really reach out to your people. This is something that we have to start thinking about. So, for me, I think that I currently feel as though we have to start thinking about how we actually curate our days, curate our weeks, and I really wanted to start focusing on Mondays. So, because of that, we have to think about our productivity at work too. When work is really tough, we stop, producing, or we feel as though it's not providing enough value in our lives. And so what we tend to do is to not put forth our best foot forward. So again, going back to the studies, they're saying is that all of Monday productivity is like a Friday afternoon productivity, meaning nobody's really doing anything on a Monday. They all just catching up. They might log in the email, but that's about it. So when you're at work and you feeling like, I just don't feel like doing it on Monday, it's the exact same. You want to make sure that you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Because, let's face it, Monday is can we really make Monday a fun day? And the studies keep saying no. Because even when it comes to accidents, when you're driving on a road, sadly, Monday is actually ranked the 5th highest day of accidents. Now you're like, well, it's only 7 days out the week. Well, this one is actually considered the highest day after Saturday and Friday. So, and Monday, if you think about Sunday, the most accidents are really happening around 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. on a Sunday. This is driving accidents. So that carries over to Monday. It comes back around. It's like, can I get a break? But no, Mondays just suck. That's what I keep coming back to. But I want to start thinking about how can we turn this Monday into a fun day? Have you ever listened to Eric Thomas? He starts off saying, thank God it's Monday. Like he says it with more emphasis and so forth. He's practically yelling at the top of his lungs saying, thank God it's Monday. And we have to think about how can we change our mentality around a day that is statistically most dreadful, statistically deadly, and statistically lonely. Is that we have to realize that our lives are based around our mentality and our function within the day-to-day life. All right, let's see what we got here in the comments. We got Rando. Oh, Randolph. Oh, Randy. Hey, Randy, what's going on? Randy says Mondays are trash. Nobody likes them unless you're collecting checks on those days. Sundays are the day you want to reach out to folks. So I guess Mondays too. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, most religious people are on Sundays and they actually are congregating on that day. So it get you to think, if a lot of people are religious, are the people that are also committed suicide also religious as well? Something to think about. I don't know those answers. If you have those answers, please jot that in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, please share that, because I would be interested to see what is the impact of religious people on a Monday if they just congregated with everybody on that Sunday. What's going on? Let's see, Daryl, you said as an adjunct professor, Monday is a busy day. Emails from students and college admissions, bankers, insurance companies, property managers is just a busy day. Now, it's a busy day basically because you want it to be busy. Can it be productive? And that's what I want to start diving into, is how to make your Mondays productive so that they don't feel as though it's such a dreadful day. Now we're talking about making your Mondays productive, and then we'll get into the finance side of the house, because we gotta get into the mentality of what it is that's causing us to feel down in order for us to uplift ourselves so that we can be productive and survive the day. It seems like if we can survive Monday, the rest of the week is fantastic. It's glorious, you know? Um, and so I was actually thinking about, like, what is so special about Mondays? And Mondays really just kind of specialize or symbolizes really just a fresh start. It offers like a mental reset just to kind of start taking initiative on the goals and routines that you have done from the weekend. So I want you to start thinking about, what are you doing on Sunday? So, step one, this is the Thursday show, which means that you have until Sunday to kind of put this in place. I want you to start next week, starting it off fantastic. And I'm going to follow up next Thursday to kind of see how you guys were doing, because I'm going to be part of it too. I might document this process, but I'm not sure yet. But I want you to start thinking about, on Sunday, how can you have a fresh start on Monday? Do you wash all your clothes on the weekend so you have fresh clothes come Monday? Like, all your laundry's done, the floor is clean, the kitchen sink's done, the bathroom behind the toilet. Because, guys, hey, we piss all over the place in the bathroom. So you need to make sure the back of the toilet is actually clean. Make sure the seats wiped down, clean the sinks, clean the showers, and just really have that fresh start on that Sunday. Now, when it comes to, because you feel a sense of completion. I want you to start thinking about how other things in your life that you can actually start feeling like completed. I want you to take, maybe, I don't like timing things, but I want you to find a book, a self-help book, or a book that you're reading or that you're interested in. You can either utilize your library card, get a free book. If you have physical books in your house that you haven't read yet, take the time out to open them up. And I want you to read just 10 pages. You're not worrying about time. I just want you to complete the task of reading 10 pages. And before you know it, you'll be done that book in no time. But I want you to read at least 10 pages on Sunday, because that will help get your mind going. Like, man, I really want to finish the book, or I want to finish the next pages. Just do the 10. Get that done. You want to have high productivity on Monday? So start taking opportunity to start doing some things that refresh your energy. If you like to work out, probably take a walk. Do like a low intensity activity. If you like to draw, draw something light. Use a different medium. Try something different on a Sunday. And start thinking, because it'll help reset your brain just to kind of prepare for that Monday. Because something that you might have did on Sunday, you'd be like, you be thinking about it on Monday, like, yeah, I want to finish this or I want to finish projects. And this is the way how we can start brain hacking ourselves so that we can actually be productive on Monday. Also, let's start thinking about our social connections. We already talked about how we're going to reach out to people. What are those different opportunities that you're providing so that you can share with people? Um, let's see. The reason why I'm doing a pause here, because I actually did a lot of photos. I want to share with y'all because I was like, man, I was so proud of my work. But anyway, we'll make this work. Let's see if I can drag on photos. Oh no, can't do it. Anyway, I'll have to probably share my screen later. But anyway, so what I want to do, share this. There we go. Yeah. See if that worked. Yeah. So I want you to read your book. So I want you to read a book, something that actually provides some value to you. And let's see. Got some comments here. All right. So Randy continued to say, but to your point, you have to schedule your wins. One has to plan for success and execute. You should make every day a getting off to a great start of getting wins and celebrating those wins. Now, I have to say that that sounds cool, but we got to start somewhere. And picking that one day, and I want to start with Monday. I'm going to do a whole series. I'm going to do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to run through all the days of the week, but I want you to start with Monday. And the reason why I start with Monday is because it's already statistically it's the hardest one that we can actually ride upon and live through. So I want you to kind of think about that. And also, we got to start thinking about how we're going to reduce some of this fatigue. And one way to do that is by really looking forward to the week. And by doing so, you can either write down. So I want you to do this with your sheet of paper that we already taken notes on. I want you to write down the 3 things that you want to complete that week. You don't have to do it a day and stuff like that. Some people think, oh yeah, you should write down all the things that you want. Just write down 3 things. Our mind works best in threes. Tesla, Nikola Tesla, if you guys know him, he actually came up with the frequency of the world and the numbers that actually resonate a lot in nature. And those numbers were 3, 6, and 9. So we actually, if you think about it, even salsa, if you're learning salsa or bachata, well, I'll say bachata. If you're learning bachata dancing, everything is done in threes. It's 1, 2, 3, cha, cha, cha. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 steps, 3rd step. All right, cool. Now we shift into another side. It's all in threes, people. So do not make this complicated. Find 3 things that you want to complete in the week and write them down. If you already know those 3 things that you want to complete this week, drop it in the comments. I want to hear about it. Let's go on and find some accountability partners right now. And I want to see you next week to see if you actually accomplished your 3 things. All right. So, Daryl, you said I grade ahead on Sundays so that my Mondays are less stressful. There we go. That's what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? Daryl gets it. Go on and get your Sundays right so that you're not really that stressful or have a busy day come Monday. And I think that's probably another reason why people just kind of give up. Monday is just so much stuff. Like everybody wants your attention. Well, really, you just like, yo, can I just ease into work without people knowing where I'm at? I know I do sometimes. Let's see. Daryl, you also said that you also plan your week ahead with my finances on Sunday. See, we're gonna get to that. I like that. So somebody just joining in saying, "What's the live about?" Hey, we are talking about the mindset right now. Then we're gonna get into the finances because that is something that we all need to understand. Now, the reason why we're gonna talk about the mindset because The mindset can especially be beneficial to those who are looking to make a positive change in their lives. And if you're not looking to make a positive change, this isn't for you. You got to start thinking about new exercise routines. You got to start thinking about eating healthier. Are you eating junk food before you go to sleep? Are you having ice cream at 10 o'clock at night? Or are you actually um, having some fruit or drinking water instead of trying to eat food at night to kind of calm your nerves and kind of wind down for the night? And actually, are you trying to organize yourself? Just like Daryl said, he's actually knocking out work on the Sunday so that he can be more organized come Monday and not stressed out like the rest of his colleagues. So, we can make Mondays very successful throughout the week. We just have to make sure that we take initiative on that Sunday to make sure we're there. Okay. And the last thing before we dive into that from a mental perspective, we want to make sure that we actually provide an opportunity for us to, again, find that social connection. If you're playing video games with somebody online, that's your social connection. I don't care what nobody say. What I'm saying, you get to actually communicate and actually have an interaction, whether it's online, in person, what have you. You're actually making that social connection with somebody to kind of help bring up that euphoria for the week, and you're looking forward for the rest of the week. So let's make this happen. Let's make this keep going forward. All right. So let's see. Oh, I totally forgot you got a teleprompter on here. I've been playing around with a lot of stuff on this thing because they've been adding a lot of new things actually. So come Monday, it's what we want to do. We want to start thinking about how can we provide, start planning out and having Monday to be productive financially. So what I want you to do, I'm reaching over because I got a big old calendar, right? Let's see. We got a message on Instagram. So the B effect says Monday is another day to have a fresh start. Yes, totally agree. Totally agree. Because I 100% agree with that. So when it comes to increasing your productivity financially, what I want you to start thinking about is how can you utilize one of these? Everybody knows what one of these are, right? It's called a calendar. I utilize my calendar mostly for scheduling my podcast because this keeps me on track, how far my backlog is, when I need to edit, who I need to edit next, based on the interviews and so forth. I actually do have premium interviews that are on here, so I have to actually kind of move people around and so forth. But this is what I do. So after this live, I'm planning out my week because my weekend is filled with usually 3 to 4 interviews a weekend. And so what I do is make sure that after those interviews, I've jot them down on my calendar. From the calendar, I start thinking about, okay, what do I need to do next? I want you to do the same thing with your finances. Most people usually get paid on Fridays. So what I want you to do, I don't think I have enough Post-its over here. But we do got pens though. So what I want you to do is take a moment, look at your Fridays, mark down on Friday when you get paid, or if you get paid on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, whenever you get paid. I want you to write down, just put a dollar sign. This is for entertainment purposes only, because as a podcaster, we get paid by any means necessary. So, but if your income is actually static, this is what I suggest you take a look into. Remember, this is educational purposes only, because now we're talking about finance. So, talk to your CPA about all the stuff for your financial professional. When it comes to marking down on you every other week, you got your days due. Now, like I said, on the weekend, I actually take a moment to look at everything like that as far as my interviews. I want you to start taking a moment to look into all of your bills. So if I'm getting 3 interviews or 4 interviews on a weekend, I want you to start thinking about 3 or 4 bills that you got to do on a weekend. Take a moment to jot them down on your calendar. If something comes up, jot it down. Immediately as you know about that due date, jot it down on your calendar. By having a visual effect of where your money is at, it reduces anxiety by 200%. Trust me on it. By 200%, you can reduce anxiety about your finances because you have it written down in this visually. It's visually seen, which means that you need to start taking action on it. You cannot take action on things you cannot measure. So, in order for you to measure it, you need to see it. In order for you to see it, you need to write it down. So, write down when your bills are due, when your finances are due, and do that on the weekend. Do not do it at your dinner table. Do not do this in the family room. Do not do this in the bedroom. The bedroom is only used for maybe watching TV, but sleeping in another ing word that I'm not going to say on this live. Okay? So, find a place to write down your bills because you do not want that space to kind of feel like, okay, this is my work mode. This is where I got to do my bills. So, find a place. You can have a drink. You can drink some water, some orange juice, what have you, or pick whatever poison you like. Write down your bills. Do that on the weekend. Secondly, now that you got your bills laid out, you can actually start looking into your credit. I want you to take one weekend, one Sunday, one Saturday to focus on what it is that you want to improve on your finances. Now that you have all your money laid out, take the first weekend, write out your whole month of bills. Take that first Monday, that whole month of bills, everything listed out. Second week of the month, on that second Monday, I want you to start thinking about how can I improve that activity. On the third Monday, I want you to start thinking about how can I have accountability partners throughout my process, whether it's a close friend, a relative, if you have your family members. For those of you who have kids, it's okay to talk to your kids about money. You can start them off at 8. They'll start learning about it, and we can actually tell them right up front, like, hey, if you got a calendar in front of you, let's flip to your birthday, son. Now we know when your birthday is. How much money do we want to actually spend everything? Let's make it happen. Secondly, because we got all the big days out the way, we got everything lined up. Now we can start planning. This is going back to planning, back to mindset, back to clarification. Because you know where everything is at, it's a lot easier to take action on those activities. All right, so we got the third week done. The fourth week, what I want you to focus on is now, what books are you reading to kind of help improve your knowledge on your finances? Now, behind me are all the people that I met in person or broke bread with, we partied, something like that have also written books. So, with that possibility, there's tons of books and resources. The one book that I like the most that kind of gets you started is actually 2 books, both by women. But because it's Black History Month, you already know what it is. We have Tiffany Leach's book, Get Good with Money. Highly recommend as a book to read if you just getting into finances and you want to learn more about it. Highly recommend this book. Now, she actually signed my copy, so I'm not giving this copy away. But, why not? So definitely check her out. For Black History Month, we gotta do that. Because that book, like I said, just do 10 pages, especially when it comes to a self-help book. You need those 10 pages, take action on it. It's too much to read, too much information, especially if you're not in this realm talking about it all day, every day. I'm usually there for the stories because I hear about this stuff all the time. The stories never change when it comes to your finances. Now that you got your 4 weeks set up, that next month, what I want you to do is to solidify and start your systems. This, when they say 30 days to create a habit, I don't think it's 30 days to create a habit. I think it's 30 days to create a system that you will follow no matter what happens. Because when everything is going haywire, life isn't lifing, your friends ain't calling you back, you just got dumped, your rent is all of a sudden due and you forgot about it, and everything else is going against you. What is going to go for you are your systems. So, no matter how great you are, no matter how sloppy you can be, but if your systems are in place, you will never fail your system. And when your systems fail, that's when a lot of things will go down spiral. Because you need your mentality to be where it needs to be in order for you to be successful, especially when it comes to finances, because it's really about the numbers and the systems that you put in your number into place. You need to really get out of your head and just focus on what it is. So now that we have that understanding on the 5th Monday, that's great. Now y'all be like, well, Anthony, how can I get all my systems in place? Well, what am I supposed to focus on? And where do I go? What do I do? I want you to focus on, there's something called a 2-minute rule. There's a whole book about it. I've read it many times, and especially when I was studying for project management during my master's degree, there was a book. I can't remember who started the book or whatever, but it's really talking about the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule is really saying is that if there's something that you can get done in 2 minutes, knock it out. If you can, like, there's a lady, I cannot think of her name, but she's on Instagram and it actually talks about how long does it take. I want you to actually take a moment to actually time yourself making the bed in the morning. If it should take less than 2 minutes to make your bed in the morning. If it's taking longer than that, you need to get rid of some of them pillows. Some people get like 10 to 12 pillows. Like, why do you have so many pillows in your bed? But again, no judgment. That's how you sleep. That's how you sleep. But I want you to start thinking about how long does it take for you to get organized in your systems? If your routines that you have set up, there's a book. I'm looking for the book. One of the first books that I got, and I highly recommend for you to kind of take a look into, which is called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. There's another book talk about the Atomic Habit. I'm not a big fan of the Atomic Habit because the Atomic Habit also referenced this book as well. So I like this book better, mostly because it breaks down the different scenarios of a routine. And the reason why you want to understand your routines is because it talks about the rewards at the end of the day. Why are you doing this? How long does it take? And like really making sure that you're getting things done in a timely fashion so that you can be productive. So out of all of this and everything that I said, I want you to start thinking about what it is that you can take action on today. If you Want to have a takeaway? Find something that it only takes you 2 minutes to do. If it's to respond to an email, if it's to fold your clothes, if it's to do 10 push ups, if it's to do 10 squats, you're doing something. Be productive. Instead of sitting there watching for 30 seconds commercials, you could be doing your workout routine. You can do 10 push ups. You can do those 10 squats. You can fold those 5 articles of clothing. You can wipe down the countertop. You'd be surprised on how much you can get done when you're watching a show and you have those commercials in. So I want you to have a productive weekend so that you can have a productive Money Monday. All right. Lisa J. Stock, I'm not sure she's still around in the chat. But what she does is have tons of content out there about investing in stocks. So even if you just take 2 minutes just to learn something new, 2 minutes of watching, if you can take an hour or so on Instagram scrolling or on Sora, just shout out to you, Jim, making videos, you can take 2 minutes to learn something new. Do not let society mess up your routines and mess up your quality of life. So this episode is going to be short today for this live. I'm open to questions. If you have anything, please drop them in the comments, or any comments, because I really want to make sure that this productivity was for you. If you thought the show was great today, leave a comment. Because I want to make sure that you get everything you need out of this. I've done some research for today's episode, and I just want to make sure that you all are successful. So, and also, if you think about it too, at work, if you have the power to do so, just put on there, no meeting Mondays. Oh, I'm gonna give you a job hack too. What I do at work is that I actually block off time, like random times or whatever, especially on a Monday. I put on there like, oh yeah, lunch or break or meeting. And then I set the meeting status to private so they can't actually see the details. And so that frees up time for me from everything else to play catch up on work. Or if I just need a mental break, put the headphones on, just go ahead on and let the meeting ride or whatever in your calendar invite. Just kind of invite your own self. You don't even invite other people. Just have you as meeting with you to have that break. I use that a lot. I use that throughout the week. And it's been very helpful for me to take a break. And I was like, oh man, why nobody messaging me? I realized that I was actually on the meeting with myself, handling business. So I want you to kind of think about that. Take time out for yourself. Take time to reflect. Take time to take action. I want to leave you all with that. So let's see what else we got in the comments right now. Daryl, you're awesome with this. Okay, so Daryl says, I have an Excel calendar paydays and which classes to grade. Let me read this fluently for you all. I have an Excel calendar paydays in which classes to grade in which order, like editing your podcast interviews. I have all bills automated but I need to build an emergency fund. Perfect opportunity to look into that. I didn't even talk about that. So having productive Mondays. So you need to make sure automation is your key. Set up a separate bank account. Call it, I guess instead of an emergency fund, you can call it, I guess you call it emergency fund. Call it emergency fund, but also I want you to factor in a fund. Actually provide opportunities for you to actually go have fun. Put that on automation, slide over $25, $10, $5 over to that account every time you get paid. so that you can go on vacation and have a good time without feeling as if you're diving into anything. So I want you to think about that as well. Thank you, Daryl, for that one. All right. So Randy said, is a weekly calendar you're referring to in your shop? It sounds like it'll be a great tool to keep track. This calendar is not in mine, but I do have a calendar called the simple budget calendar. You can actually go to my website, aboutthatwallet.com/shop, and actually get the budget calendar. And that calendar actually has the same exact thing, but instead of the blank space up top, it actually has so that you can write down your bills. So you can write down all your credit card bills, your loans, your interest rates. Then what are your minimum payments? What are your maximum payments? What did you actually pay? And also, it's all on the top area. So I'm gonna show you again. So with this particular calendar, see the back is blank. So you do have the opportunity to actually utilize the space for whatever you need. I took the opportunity to do this on my calendar, not this calendar, but the one that I created, to actually have a line item for all of your bills and so forth. So when you have all your bills, the due dates and everything like that, that will coordinate with down here. So when you look at it from afar, you can see when all your bills are due, what interest rates, what did I actually pay, and so forth. So I do have that available. I believe I think I still only have it on there for $5.99. I just wanted to keep it something simple so everybody can go ahead on and go print it out. I want you to be successful. So that's that's available right now. You can go get it yourself. What's going on, Dr. Siv? Thank you for coming through. Greatly appreciate it. All right, so I didn't even have a drink session. Man, I'm just running through. Got my red cup. It's gonna be a simple drink today. It's not a Monday, so don't worry about me. I'm good. Anyway, we got pour it up for the folks that didn't make it today. And I just want to say happy birthday to the people whose birthdays are starting off in February. So let's go on and pour up for them. I'm gonna have a little drink music and be right back. And yes, we are having a solo cup. That's not even a solo cup brand. It's just a red cup. You know, I'm doing something light today, which is just straight. I know y'all gonna laugh, but it's just straight grenadine. This is the just grenadine syrup. I believe this one is cherry flavor. No, I think the strawberry flavor. Only need a little bit because this stuff runs, and obviously it's enough. It's pretty much just sugar. It's colored sugar. And then you just throw it in with a bottle of rum. This rum is a coconut rum. This is Emerald Clove, the spirit of the islands. It's really delicious. It's not heavy or anything like that. It's pretty good. I like it. So what are y'all having to drink? I know some of y'all only come on my show. Typically, I'm only pouring myself about 3 ounces because gotta work tomorrow. I know, right? Gotta get these edits. Gotta get going. Tastes like cough syrup. I know, right? It looks good, but I'm telling you, it's straight cough syrup. All right, so I'm gonna finish this, and so we got 10 minutes. If you guys got anything, please drop it in the comments. If you want, if I do phone calls, I'm gonna have to hang up from Instagram, but it is what it is. Let's see. Any comments? What's going on, Jen? Thank you for coming through. Gotta say hi to the folks. Thank you for the great message. If you guys are looking for so Jen, I'm gonna have to have you on the show to kind of talk about how to do arbitrage selling. because you actually do a lot of online selling using Whatnot, and I have no clue how to do that. And I know a lot of people in my audience have been asking how to do how to sell online, and you do a lot of stuff with that. And I do want to have you on to kind of talk about that. I think that'd be pretty cool. All right, Dr. Siv, you said you agree with Lisa. My intro, like a couple welcome sentences, then I jump right into say what I'm covering so that the people who are watching later and want to stick around to hear the rest. That's interesting. Like I said, I'm still learning as I go. For those of you who've been watching my lives, they have evolved over the years, and so that's something I'll think about. I'll put in consideration. I'll put a poll out to see what people think about my intro, or if I should shorten it, 30 seconds, 10 seconds. I can even just say it. Hey, welcome to the About That Wallet show. And just go from there. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff that's coming up soon. And I can't wait to get started. Oh, by the way, if y'all new, please check out my if you go to aboutthatwallet.com/newsletter. I do have a monthly newsletter. I'm about to get that ready and released for this coming weekend. Just to kind of highlight all the cool stuff. What is covered in that newsletter, y'all wonder? Well, we talk about the shows that are already posted, highlight some of the key moments, what's happening with the show, new things, whether I'm speaking at new events, and also provide you opportunities. So if there's an event that I'm speaking at, I actually provide a little, I call it real estate, on my slide deck that can post your logo so that it will actually get into new audiences. And so I do have that option available. We talk about AI stuff. We talk about how finances are being impacted by AI, how to look for jobs. I might get into showcasing some grants, maybe, but I don't follow too many grants. So I might provide a resource to that. We talk about travel and pretty much some AI prompts. It's been a while. I haven't done any cool AI prompts lately. So I want to talk about that as well. Oh, by the way, there's this trend that's going on. A lot of people using those characters and just trying to figure out, like, oh, yeah, just create a character and it'll be fun. I tried it. I'm gonna see what I can share with y'all what mine looked like. I was like, it did okay. Y'all let me know what it did. It's gonna show. Let's say remove that one. So, some of y'all know that I like to eat my lifesavers with chopsticks. Mostly because I don't want to get my hands dirty when I'm trying to type at the same time. It's pretty cool. Oh, Canva tricks, hacks, and new features. I can actually do that. So with Canva, I'm not sure if a lot of y'all know, but Canva actually does have a whole AI product. So if you ever want to create a whole app using Canva, you can. It's very straightforward. I think we did a live show about that before. Let's see. So that's my character. What else I did? Oh yeah, with me on the bike, by the way, it's actually these are all AI images. If y'all ever wonder, like, if you ever wonder, I don't know the rest of the words, so don't judge me. And then, so I actually play around with these. I do a lot with AI because AI, like, my face is on YouTube, my story's on YouTube, so it's already here. It's okay. I'm fine. It's not gonna bother me anything. Oh, by the way, so I'm gonna talk about the next episode, the pre-recorded episode that's coming out next week. It's a 2-hour long show. Okay. 2 hours long. And because it's 2 hours long, I'm debating. I'll let y'all know. Y'all let me know. Should I break it up into 2 1-hour episodes, or should I keep it as just a straight 2-hour show like a Joe Rogan setup. It is what it is. You get into 2 hours. However, I would do a lot of clips on YouTube, like 5 minute, 10-minute clips on YouTube. So you're not sitting there for the full 2 hours, but at least kind of give you a feel of what it's like. So that's what I'm thinking to do, is just straight do the 2 hours, and then I'll do mini clips just to kind of kick off my um my Black History interviews. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a mix of people. We're going to mix of people for February. I did not plan out the interviews for this month. It's just kind of like, hey, the way how they fell based on the interview times and stuff like that. So I don't have that moment in here. So Dr. Seb, you said, if I'm looking for engagement, I will break it up. I find longer shows don't do well if we're not known well, which is true. So, and even on Instagram, I think BP, you said break it up. It won't mess up the flow of the interview. There is a way to do that. I'm gonna have to do like an intro and outro. So what I might do, if I break it up, I'm gonna have to do it on multiple days that week, because my goal is, for when I do these interviews, is to make sure that all of their content and so forth is shown that week that the episodes are out. So if I'm releasing on a Tuesday, which means that I can do a follow up on maybe that Thursday, or break it out that Wednesday to have them back to back, or like, because it'll be 2 1-hour episodes, and I can do it that way, like a part 1, part 2. I don't know. Y'all let me know. So should I do a 1 hour, 1 hour? Should I do a 10, like let's see, what, 10 minutes? I'm gonna have to do 20-minute episodes for like the whole week. Just to make it work, because it's like 5 times 2. You get your 200 minutes. So, which is more than 2 hours. Yeah, because I need 120 minutes. Oh, I'll figure it out. It's my show. Like Daryl said before, I'll just run it. I think I'm gonna just do the full 2 hours. Because the Dave Ramsey way to doing it, he actually breaks his up by doing an hour. Because he did a 3-hour show, and he does an hour each. So that's what he does. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you for coming through, Floyd. Highway 54, that's my other home. We haven't recorded yet for this year, but definitely check it out if you haven't. So yeah, that's what we plan on doing for the coming week. And it's been a while since I did a long 2-hour show. I can tell you this: my 2-hour shows, or my longer form content, actually do really well on YouTube, surprisingly. So the longer form content really does well for me. Even when I have my 30-minute ones, because it's kind of like that fall off period, like 30 minutes, kind of. But if I do like a whole hour plus, it's kind of like, hey, we locked in. We know we can sit here. This will play long. I can wash clothes. I can clean up the house while I'm listening to the show. And I'm sure some of you are doing that right now, because there are some fun stats that I heard about that people who listen to podcasts, most people who listen to podcasts are already educated. They have a degree. There are some people, I think they said it's around like 50 or 60% of the people actually listen while they cleaning their houses. About 70 something percent, let's say like 72% of people actually listen to podcasts while they're driving. So while people are on the go, and this is also another reason why a lot of people try to get on podcasts as a business, is because you're in your audience ear, you're in your target audience's space of safety. But me as a host, and it's my duty to kind of protect my audience. It's my duty to protect you all. So when I bring a guest on, It's more so of like, hey, I think they have something interesting, and I think they have something that would actually help benefit you. So that's my job, is to kind of protect you all from that, from any riffraff. And if I think that they are going against the audience or going against the flow, it's my job to either cut that episode, don't release that episode, delete the episode, or actually follow up like how the news stations do, and follow up and actually say, hey, this prior interview, this part of it was wrong. Keep in mind that the views of the person that's being the guest on this show does not reflect the views of the About That Wallace show. So I want you to kind of think about that as a whole. So when you listen to other podcasters, make sure that they are having the audience's best interest. So when you listen to them, you can actually tell, are they there just for the person that they're interviewing, or are they really there for you as a listener? And I want you to kind of think about that as you listen to these podcasts. I'm not sure. Do you guys think I should do like a background thing of podcasting? Like just do a small segment. It'll just be me, 8-minute short clips talking about podcasting, as far as how to host, set up your systems, best time to post. I've done talks on all of these already, by the way. How to avoid burnout, and I mean, what else I talked about? Yeah, talk about leadership as well, but mostly that. So if you guys want, just let me know. I can actually do that as well. I think it'll be fun. All right. So Dr. Sav, you said this is why I reject a bunch of guests. That is cool. I don't do pre-interviews because I want all of my interviews, when you all hear it, I hear it for the first time too. What my reactions are, I want them to be real reactions, because if I hear something twice, I'm kind of like, like it's not, the excitement isn't there. I know some people say, well, you don't seem excited about a lot of stuff, but it's okay. But it's usually, I try to feed off the energy of the guests, but sometimes I have to remember I have to feed off my own energy to get my own self hyped up for these. Um, but yeah, so pre-interviews is great. I don't do them. Usually it depends on the person. If their topic is seem like it's too common, it's not different enough. Because my audience is very smart. You guys are amazing, by the way. So thank you so much. What's going on, Sambaza? If y'all haven't got a chance, you gotta check out Sambaza's show. Sambaza and Jen does a do a great show, great co-host together. Y'all are great. They actually did a live they did a live yesterday. They're actually pretty cool. Hey, thanks for coming in from Dallas. I'll say it's like 8 o'clock right now. I guess I should have said 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, because I did post that on Instagram. All right, let's see. Let's see. Get some media background noise. I'm gonna tell you some background music just because, just like, why not? Um, I really don't like some of these songs 'cause it's already set. Yeah, there we go. It's like the end of the day. It's fine. Let's see. Dr. Savvy said, I don't ask them to interview questions during the pre-interview. It's more of a vibe and messaging. So, and that's the thing, Dr. Sav, was like when I do pre-interviews or even my interview as a whole, I'm getting to know who they are. And getting to know who they are is part of it's part of the podcast interview. And but that's also the part of the meat and potatoes of my show. So I like to know more about them. How did they get started? What caused them to really dive into this business if they have a business? Um, or what caused them to go through, like, not caused them, but what was a pivotal shift in their mindset to kind of change their trajectory of their finances or their story? Because a lot of us, if you hear some of the stories and actually go back to listening to some of the stories of the people that I've interviewed, you'll realize that a lot of them had the world against them most of the time. They, um, lost a sibling. They lost an uncle. They lost a father. They wound up, homeless, sleeping in cars, and wound up making millions later on. Um, what does that look like? What caused them to shift? What was so special about them that other people just don't make it out of it? And that is what I like to kind of figure out. Not figure out, but I want to learn about that because their story might be something I can help somebody else with. And that is the purpose that I do during the interview. So getting to know them on the pre-interview, it kind of like I can do my own research. And but again, two different podcast styles. I respect the pre-interview. Just me personally, I don't do them because most time after the pre-interview, they just don't want to do the interview anyway. So that's why I like for the pre-interviews, I might just start hitting record. Be like, all right, cool. This is a 10-minute session. Let's go ahead on and call it a day. But then they come through. Hey, what's going on, Bass? Thank you for coming through on the Instagrams. I see you out there. Let's see what else we got. All right, Randy said, I think I should go back and listen to your earlier work on the topic of your podcast and how you do it. So, well, Randy, that's one thing. I don't have segments on how I actually do my show. I just record them. Like the only time you're actually going to get some of this background information is if I'm live on this podcast or if you catch me on like another podcast where I'm actually talking to other podcasters about podcasting, if that makes sense. So, I mean, if you want, I can, that's what I was asking. Do you think it'll be beneficial if I create a small mini series, a small thing about how I podcast, when talk about podcasting in general, the importance of it, some of the statistics on what drives the way how podcasters are operating, and then also how to improve your podcast, whether through audio, through systems, because I notice a lot of people fail to put out their podcast because their systems are broken. Or again, their life, they're not planning ahead of time. Life happens. They're not batch recording. So when it comes to really understanding the craft about it, I would like to talk about it. I just trying to figure out the best way to do it for my show. And because I don't, there's a whole mix of people that my audience is involved in, I want to make sure that I provide the best quality of content that somebody can actually take action on immediately. So they will be about 8-minute long clips talking about how to start a podcast, how to maintain a podcast, and then how to grow your podcast. So that is something that I will talk about on that. And when I say grow, I'm meaning really just staying consistent because a lot of podcasters will drop off because they're not consistent or it's expensive to stay consistent at the pace that they're going at. So some people, they have great episodes, great quality podcasts that I listen to, but they only make like maybe 12 episodes. And then you'll see that they posted like 3 months later or, 6 months later. And I'm like, bro, you still podcasting? So it's just kind of one of those, like, they start off strong, but after a while, they start to teeter off. And what does that mean? So yes, I will probably, I think I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna just do it. Like, why not? I think it's my calling. I think I need to be out there. All right. So Dr. said those are questions I asked on the interview. Yeah. So this is a great way to kind of think about how you do your pre-interview questions versus actual interview questions. Those are really good. And thank you for coming through, for sharing your story, Dr. Sev. Your episode is coming out. I think I got it. By the way, guys, I actually been on Dr. Sev's podcast a while ago. I think we were talking about some fun stuff. So Dr. Sev's stuff will be coming out February, March, and April. So because I do Like my backlog is about 17 episodes now, so quite a bit, and it's only 52 weeks in a month, so it's very tight, and that's why my live shows are important for some people. All right, Randy, you said I think that would be a good series for those who may seek to get into similar space, if not podcasting per se, but maybe doing videos. Yeah, because doing videos is also another thing to look into. How can you maintain consistency doing videos? What is your mindset behind it? What is your research? What are the systems that you have in place so that you can stay consistent for that time frame? Are you going to be doing interviews? Are you just going to be solo? Will you have a co-host? So those are the three different styles. Are you going to have like intermission? What are your segments going to be like? Um, Floyd for Highway 54 got me into understanding different segments of the show. Put little zingers in between each segment so you can actually know what's coming up. Like I can share with you now some of the zingers that I created since doing this almost 3 years ago. So y'all saw the intro, y'all saw my new intro. Um, I got this one here, which is breaking talking about like wallet news. I even got like quick tip stuff. There's nothing on there. Y'all seen that already? I think this one here just talking about basic breaking news. Um, I even got the one just in case. Oh no, did I get rid of it? I'm supposed to have one with my just in case I had technical difficulties. I think I deleted it. But yeah, I had one there. So I have all the things here. It just depends on how you want your show to be. Um, just want you to kind of think about that as you go through. So yeah. Okay, podcast coach. Hey, I mean BP, I mean, congratulations on your podcast and your first episode out there. Can't wait to listen to the rest of them. So I want you to kind of think about, what it is that you like about podcasting, what it is you like about the topic, what it is you like about your audience. And I know I'm giving y'all all the podcasting tips 101 right now, but there we go. Oh yeah, this is the one I like. I actually made this one. I thought it was pretty cool in case I had technical difficulties. So this one is it too. This thing keeps muting my mic. So the cool thing I like about creating those different moments is to provide just chop up breaking segments and so forth. So yeah, I might can talk about that too. I don't know. I got lots to talk about. It's so much that you can do with podcasting. It's mind blowing because it's a whole nother medium. It's a whole nother way to think about how to engage the audience, how to draw them in, how to keep them here, but also how can you actually help with marketing. So if you have a guest that comes on and have a commercial, or you can throw your own commercials in. And keep in mind, I'm doing this live. So imagine if I was doing, well, actually, you don't have to imagine. You can actually look at my live with my guest on how I break up those segments. I'll bring in the 30-minute mark. We got trivia 30 minutes in. I have my outro, my intro music. So those are the things that I throw in there. But also, I'm still running the podcast as if it's pre-recorded because I know my segments on my show. And knowing those segments of your show, that comes along with practice. So for those of you who are curious about my segments, the first segment, which is why I'm having somebody on the show. Like, I need to know up front what it is. You gotta feed my audience. My pet peeve, though, about the very first question that I keep hearing, and I do not like it, which is um, the very first question is, tell me about yourself. I hate that question because that's part of your research. Like Dr. Sav said that she does a pre-interview. That is kind of a way to kind of know them and get to know them before you actually do the recording. But if you did your research, most of the stuff they're going to tell you anyway, you already know. I cannot wait until the episode that I recorded, I want to say over the weekend. And I asked the guy, what is your favorite dish to make? Which is one of like the second to last question on my show. And he actually got into tears. And because it brought up a memory that he had with a loved one who's no longer here. So the power of questions, the power of understanding questions, these are things that you need to focus on as a podcaster, especially as an interviewer. You need to realize what it is that you need. So the book, like I said, I know my library over here. It's the beauty of actually knowing your stuff. So this book here is called The Art of Asking, Ask Better Questions, Get Better Answers by Terry Fathom. So this particular book is a really good book to help you out, especially getting into leadership, or if you're getting to learn about your kids, or just interviewing or asking people anything. And I usually try to read this book at least once a year. Like I still got my old business card in here. It's great. Like I haven't used this thing in like a long time, but it's like one of my very first business cards. Actually, it was my first business card. So I highly recommend a book like this so that you can ask better questions to get better answers. And really understanding what it is that you trying to get out of a person is the most important thing, because you need to focus on your audience's pain points as an interviewer. Now, I only could talk from interviewing perspective because this is what I do. Let's see. Freedom income options, drawing a blank on the name. Thank you so much for the comment. You said great research makes great interviews. Totally agree. 100% agree. Because I cannot tell you enough how many times I hear somebody say, well, tell me about your business, or tell the audience about your business, which you should have did your research. But if you ask questions about their business that you already know, draw that out of them. That brings in the customer, that brings in the listener to kind of really know more about the business. Because most people are just going to give you a canned answer that you can look online on their website. It's exactly the same thing. So if you did your research, you'll be able to find out more about them that's more than what's already posted on the website. So I want you to think about that. You can ask ChatGPT about them, what their business is, what their talking topics are. It's already out there. So don't try to recreate what's already out there. Go ahead and just take the initiative. So Simbaza, you say, tell me about yourself is to try and make them at ease. I sometimes say, who is you? Um, well, Simbaza, I'm giving you a pass mostly because you want to say, who are you? Um, but that's just me correcting. I know what you mean. And I know some people say, like, don't just let people say what they want to say. And I know what you mean when you say it. So, but I'm trying to say this now because, we and your friends, stuff like that. So work this out. But understanding that question, there's another way to say that. Find a canon moment in their life and talk about that moment and help them bring that out. They will tell you. You're like, what happened when you were around 10 or 11 years old when your dad said whatever? Because at that point, you should already know that story. You pulling it out for your audience to hear it too. So take that person back. So we can say, like, hey, take me back to when you were 10, spending time with your father during the summer. What was that like? how did that improve, or how did that um, mold who you are today? How did that spark the business idea that you're driving today? How did that improve the or I think you guys had somebody on your show that was talking about planting. How did that drive them to start planting seeds and giving back to people? What was it about the seedlings? What were the stories behind it? What were the feelings behind it? Like, you can draw on so many things. What were your friends thinking? So I don't, when I say who are you, it really is going back to what is that lady's name? The one that ate the fruit, she got smaller. Alice in Wonderland. And the caterpillar kept asking, well, who are you? Now, depending on who you talk to, we all wear multiple, I mean, we all contain multitudes. I think it's by Walt Whitman. Yeah, Walt Whitman said that. We all contain multitudes. So, depending on who you talk to or who they are trying to impress, they will provide a different story. So, I want you to think about that question a little bit more, provide more context into that question so that you can get a better answer out of it. So, hopefully, that's helpful. Um, Again, it's going back to, well, tell me your story. Like, I just don't like it's just me personally. I mean, you can do what you want to do on your show. It's just that for me, when I hear those questions, I usually like either skip it or I won't listen to the show. Especially if I'm brand new to somebody and I don't know who they are, but because sometimes I know you, I will still listen to the rest of your show. But if I didn't know you and I just heard that question, next podcast, just me. Now, if you listen to my old stuff, I used to actually say that. But as I've gotten older and learned more, so you learn better, you do better, right? So that was just me. And that's why I liked it that way. Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a long time. Thank you for coming through on the Instagram. I'm a girl. All right. So, Randy, you say here, you say, opening question. Tell us about yourself. Isn't a bad question. It should be used for your audience to get familiar with the guest, but then use your research to drive the conversation. Eh, yes and no, because I can say, because it's an open-ended question. You can, they will, people will dominate your podcast if you tell them, so tell me about yourself. Like, where do you want them to start? I've had and seen other podcast guests talk about that on other podcasts, saying, like, hey, what do you say? Because I'm telling you, there's a whole YouTube channel dedicated to helping podcast guests to get on podcasts. And they help them with this particular question because so many people ask that question. So tell me about yourself. That question goes so far back. So where do you want me to start? When I was 8, when I was in my teenage years, when I was in college. If you got somebody that's in their 70s or 80s, what when I had my first kid, when I had my first wife, you know, um, shucks, when I got my first car, like, how far back are you really looking for it? Because they can run up a whole hour. People love to talk about themselves. So think about it like ChatGPT. If you give it one little question like, hey, so I'm trying to figure out how to get to Chicago. You're like, okay, I'm gonna send you by boat. I'm gonna send you by plane. I'm gonna send you by railway. I'm gonna, how you want to get there? You want to get on the wagon? You want to take a trike or something? You want to, you're driving an electric vehicle? You're driving a gas vehicle? You're driving a hybrid? It will go through a whole list of stuff. You're like, hold on, sir. Time out. I'm not sure how many times, like, running with ChatGPT or any of these AI models, if you're not familiar with providing opportunities to understand your questioning, you can get a wide range of stuff. So Most podcasts are trying to create another 15 to maybe 30 minutes long. And even with the interviews, I've seen some great podcasts that do it under 15 minutes. Money Talk with T, or Money Talk with Tiff, which is Tiffany's Grant podcast. She does interviews and keeps them under 15 minutes. She does a great job pinpointing exactly why she have you on the show. Tell me about that moment. What is your skill set? Cool, we're done. End the show. Right? She doesn't give you time to talk all this. No. 15 minutes, all you get. Enough to answer maybe 2 or 3 questions. So for my show, I let people breathe a little bit. So that's why if you listen to my show, after 20 minutes, that's when people start to relax and then they take off. And the show is amazing. So if you're ever listening to my show and you be like, all right, they keep talking, skip to the 20-minute mark. I bet you at just about every time, 20 to 25-minute mark, everybody's relaxed. The show is going amazing. Yes, this is live. So thank you for coming through. So one of the things is that going back to the question is that even with the research, you still have to understand that, you know, just lean on your research and then provide questions and pull things out that they haven't talked about on other shows. That will make your podcast or your interview far different from anybody else's interview. So make sure y'all do that. All right. So Sambaza, you say, how do you stop a person who is rambling and you're about to end your show? The easiest way is to just say like, hey, hey, we want to save the rest of it for a little bit later. We'd like to have you back on. Cool. Start your outro. You can do it that way. Or you can say respectfully, hey, we want to be mindful of time right now. We want to take a moment and so forth. So for those of you who are watching on Instagram and want to see all the questions and everything like that, I am actually on YouTube at About That Wallet. So if you want to watch live and join in the conversation as well. But I'm still bringing you in because I got you here. All right. So yeah, so when it comes to rambling, before they start changing topics, because a lot of people will start talking and then they'll change the topic mid-sentence or midway through. You're like, hey, we can't get into that topic right now. We're coming up on time. Let's go on and let it go throughout the show. Now, for me, because I like to let people breathe, my show goes for like 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Maybe, I think the max episode that I actually recorded was 2.5 hours. So, I'm open, but that's the thing. That's how my show is. It's fully open, leaving it up to the audience, leaving it up to the guest who's on the show, how long it usually is. I say average is about an hour, 45 minutes. Yep, the show is live. Thank you for coming through. Let's see. Randy say, I see. The quick intro from the host works better. Know better, do better. Hey, that's the way how you got to do it. Because if you know the person, so Randy, if I have you on the show, I ain't going to say, well, tell me about yourself. Like, no, I'll be like, yo, well, tell me about how it was in education. How was it, raising your child, raising your children? How was it driving multiple states to kind of make sure it, ends meet? Or how was it that transitioning from college, from high school to college, or switching to college, or even starting college? What it's like to, travel. How was it getting old? How do you feel? Because I'm not talking about your story. I'm talking about your story, not your business at this point. This is about you. So these are the questions that I will pull through because I already know a little bit about you. I can pull on those emotions, those emotional questions, what it is to be in the sandwich generation, because that's my audience. My target audience is you. How do you deal with children while you're dealing with your parents that are aging? What do you plan on doing with your parents? So even though I can ask the same exact questions to two different people, I'm gonna get two different answers. So if for me, if you actually listen to my show, sometimes I won't say y'all listen to my show, but I would say if you listen closely to certain interviews, you will notice that I'll actually ask pretty much the same question all the time. Or I'll ask the question in the same slightly different way for each person, depending on who it is. But that's also helped me transition my different segments of the show. I have four segments in my show. I have the intro, which is, just introducing the person. Then the very first segment, which is why you on the show. The second segment, that's what I was getting to. This is ultimately where your research comes into play more deeply. So the first half of the show, the first segment, is really, hey, why do you have them on the show? What was enticing? What was sexy about them being on the show? Why did you want to bring them on for your audience? The second segment, which is about getting to know who they are. This is very important because this actually helps you pull in what it is to know that person. What do they like to eat? What are their routines of getting up? What are their routines on dealing with their family? Do they wake themselves up, get the kids up first, and get the wife? Or do they go work out? Like, what do they do day to day? This is where that middle piece comes in. And then the third segment, which is where I'm talking about the features. I'm talking about where they want to go next, what skills or habits that will actually improve their lives from where they are today so they can get to that next level. Is it to listen to more podcasts? Is it to read a book? Is it to write a book? Are they going through grief right now? How are they coping with that? What are they doing to improve their lives so that they can show up 100% for their kids? And so that they can go to work, give their best, and not give their family the rest, but also give their family the best when they get home too. This is what I want to see. This is where everybody has a growth opportunity. Nobody is perfect. And this is the reason why I do my show. It's a show like, hey, we are real people living in a real life situation on how that we can all do the same thing. So that's the reason why I started ending my show, especially with my pre-recorded shows, is to make sure that you put your pants on one pants leg at a time, because you can trip and fall trying to do it both at the same time. Or I will say, make sure you tie your shoes when you step into them, or tie them tightly so they don't fall off. Because we have moments where we just kind of up and going and we forget to do things. So that's the reason why I'm like, earlier in this whole recording, I was talking about the mindset is such a big deal. Having the opportunity to create a checklist that will help you outline your life so that you're not forgetting anything that's on the ground. I don't want you to leave any stuff on the table. So this is another reason why I do my show. It's because I want to make sure this is for you. So there's something about the show, like you're like, this will be great if you can add this. Or it'll be nice if you can try this out. I want to see this. Or can you even talk about this particular topic? Like, I'm staying on longer because I want to make sure y'all get the information that you need. And I know Lisa used to get on me and be like, hey, your show is a little longer than this. But this is for you all. I want to make sure that you all are doing what you need to do. Plus, I still got some drink left. So, yeah. So, I think I should do a podcast breakdown. This is actually a snippet of what I'll talk about. I actually might do that. I'm going to do two sides. No, not me. Yes, you, Lisa. So I might do. So Randy, you brought up a good point that I might need to tackle. That might actually be my first interview. be my first video. I'm gonna do a two-part portion about that question. Is tell me about yourself. That is gonna be that might be the first one. And I'm gonna say from a podcaster's perspective, why it's great, why people use it, and I get it. Then I'm gonna say from a interviewee's perspective, why it's good, why it's great, why it sucks. That might be the three segments. That's what you know what that's why where am my pen at? That's why I need to write stuff down. I actually like this. See, the more the more I talk myself into doing work. So say, tell me about yourself. That's gonna be about yourself. First video. I'm gonna do my 8-minute one because Lisa, I owe you a video because you did say I need to do an 8-minute clip. That's gonna be tomorrow. Tell me about yourself from a podcaster's perspective, right? And then I'm gonna do one from a guest perspective. And I might actually have somebody on just to kind of role play with me on that. And then we can actually work this out. I don't know. I gotta find somebody who's available tomorrow to kind of do this recording so I can reach my goal. It's gonna be a short 8-minute clip for recording. So I think that would be pretty cool. What's going on? Getting the win. Thank you for coming through. I cannot thank you enough for showing up. I know it's kind of late. So getting the win, if you haven't had a chance, definitely sign up for her podcast. Check out her YouTube channel. She actually goes live, not live. She actually puts out shorts every day at 8 o'clock in the morning. Some nice motivational tips. And I've actually found a way to, got some good motivation there. And I was actually thinking about start taking action and try to do more posts around that 8 o'clock hour to kind of prepare my day. And I think I feel like I'm actually checking the box on what I need to do for my podcast is to do something around 8 o'clock in the morning. So can't thank you enough for coming through. Greatly appreciate it. And so Mel T, thank you for coming through. BP is actually on Instagram right now. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, gotta prepare. Oh dear. Oh, yeah. Gotta be prepared. So yeah, so that might be my my third video called Gotta Be Prepared. Okay, so y'all building this out for me right now. And so I'm making all my videos. I'm gonna try to make them all this weekend, including my 3 interviews. So when y'all talk about trying to be prepared and getting everything set up for Monday, this is me doing it. Okay. So this is the reason why I need to do it. All right, you said, yeah, I'm gonna get the caption from from YouTube a little later on. Oh no, that's fine. So the cool thing about YouTube, I think you can just turn the captions on. So Google has done a really good job with that. Oh, Mel T. So I'm letting you know that BP said hey from she's on Instagram, so she's just saying hey to you, LT. Just want to let you know. So put that out there. All right, so gotta be prepared. That's the third video. All right, I'm putting my post-it right here on my computer. So I got that done. All right, so I'm doing that in between editing a video, recording 3 videos, and I'm gonna make time to do 3 recordings. All right, so BP, she says, yay, hey, with the hug emoji. Okay. Air hugs, or whatever the hands be doing on the emoji. That's for you, BP from Melty. All right. So I got 3 videos I need to record to kind of check the box for Lisa for keeping me accountable to make sure I do my 8-minute clips. All right. So I think I'm putting out everything that I need to do. I gotta do everything. Oh, it's a hug. Melty, look. The cup is not empty yet. So there. Okay. Cup's empty. Good. Grenadine and coconut rum for the win. Let's see. I didn't put a video yesterday. You didn't say anything to me. I thought I saw a clip of your video because Lisa, remember, I did see a post from you. Like I got a notification from you that a video came out. So that's why I didn't message you. And why haven't you got one out? Well, I mean, Lisa, you got, let's see, it's 9:41 Eastern Standard Time. You have what? From 9 to 12? You got about 3 hours. You got time to put something out today. I mean, the day ain't over until the day's over. Just like the calendar year. The calendar year isn't over until the calendar year is over. So if there are things that you want to get done, you might as well get it done by the end of the calendar year. If it's that brutal for you, if you want to say like, hey, I want to get this done in 2026, you got time to get it done in 2026. However, there is I forgot who's the guy name was. Trying to think. This is my thinking pose here. Can I zoom in? No. Okay. So there's a guy that talked about how long it would take to do something. And if you actually set your time to get it done in the month, you will wait until like the last day or the last 2 days to actually get it done so that you get it done for the end of the month. So I want you to think about that. Is it something that you can get done sooner rather than later? Let's see. You say you're working on it even though I'm outside on my proper posting time. Hey, thank you, Melty. You're right. Yes. Parkinson's law. Get it done. Let's go down and look up Parkinson's law right quick so y'all can see the graph like I see it. Parkinson's law. All right, let me go and share the screen because y'all know I love a good show and tell. All right, so with Parkinson's law, as y'all see here, I'm going to zoom in. Parkinson Law by C. Northcote Parkinson is a satirical book in the 1958 that introduced a famous theorem. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. The book uses other humorous observations about bureaucracy and human organization to critique inefficiencies, noting that tasks take longer than necessary and that time spent debating an issue is inversely proportional to its importance. So let's take a closer look at this. Like, if you're going to say that something going to take time available, which is 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours, which means that you're going to work hardest the bell curve and just kind of tail off at the end. But if you notice, when you get 8 hours, you're going to start strong, but it just kind of teeter out near the end. So I want you to think about it. If you're saying like, hey, I want to get this done by the end of the year, you probably start strong. Like, yeah, you write your thesis or you want to write a book by the end of the year. You wrote all this time. You start putting all this effort into it. And then you're like, you know what? It's a weekend. I'm going to get some sleep. I got a party. Oh no, it's the holidays. I really can't get to it. And then I finally get it done. Like, really? If you give yourself like 2 months, really crunch time in, you can actually get it done within that Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. Can't believe this. Let me move this thing out the way. Put this one up there. All right, there we go. Okay. So, so that's what I'm talking about. As far as you can see this lovely bell curve here. you gotta put in the effort and see it all the way through, because this is something that, you know, we need to make sure. It's still, oh, yeah, I fixed it. Okay. That's what happens when I actually move the windows in front of each other. But anyway, so with that being said, I want you to make sure that if there's something you want to get done, get it done. If you want to allot yourself 2 months, then allot yourself. But realistically, we both know that you can get it done within a month. So I want you to kind of think about that as you start planning out your day. Um, and start planning out what it is that you're trying to accomplish, because you're only fooling yourself by not doing it. And you're saying this for other people, but you're not getting it done. And I'm at faulty here too. Hey, what's going on, Daryl? Thank you for being here. Man, you're new to the show. I mean, honestly, thank you for coming through. Uh, Let me know how I'm doing, because I know you're new, and I'm always curious about how the new people are, how they experience the show. I know you've been coming through from the live side of the house and saw me on Lisa's show. I'm actually curious on how you think about the show so far with this live. I know it's a little longer than Lisa's, a little different than Lisa's, but also we all contain multitudes, as I said before. So, we like different things as they come through. Um, and yeah, that fight against Parkinson's law is brutal. We all just trying to figure things out if we really think about it. And the best way to figure things out is to try it. And that's the way how we have to make things happen, is by trying things and see if they stick. If we don't like it, change it. If we don't appreciate something, move on. There's no time to dwell in it. We only have a certain amount of time on this life and this earth. There are billions of people in this world. So if you don't like your environment, change it. I know it might be tough financially. I know it might be tough emotionally, but you have the power to improve your life. You have the power to um, make sure that you live the life that you want to live. Because at the end of the day, I used to say this a lot, and I got this, and it came from when my uncle had passed away, was thinking of, at the end of the day, you're the only one that's in the box. So I just want to leave that with you all. And if you need to cut people out, cut them off, just like Verizon did. Cut everybody off. And you just got to make it work. So everybody's going to be okay. Time will fix things. Time will heal. Time to get through the brokenheartedness. But also, it's a time to learn as well. Learn yourself to be the best you can be. All right, everybody. I mean, I talked about, let's see, that's a wrap up for those of you who are new. We talked about getting your Monday set up so I can go ahead on and get this stuff together. Get your life together. Get things ironed out. Make sure you're accountable for yourself. Write it down. If you want to be accountable, you want to start with accountability and people aren't there for you, write it down for yourself. Be accountable for yourself. And when I say be accountable, make sure you're doing it for somebody else other than you. The reason why you want to get better with your finances is so that you can spend time with your mom or dad or your loved one when they're sick, when they're on their deathbed. You can take a month off without feeling as though you're financially burdened with anything. So I want you to think about that. Why are you getting your finances in order? Do it for somebody else. I want you to think about that. Another thing is, we talked about books. This is Black History Month. We got to do a Black artist, of course, a Black woman. Tiffany Aliche, met her powerhouse. She talked about dealing with her passing of her husband, um, and the passing of her husband and how she's dealing with it, with just her and her daughter, how she's making sure that like he empowered in her the power of enough to realize, hey, this, what are you really shooting for? Are you really making sure this is something um, valuable to you? So we talked about this book. She talks about everything inside this book. So I highly recommend checking this one out. She does have a follow up book. Do I have it? I do have the follow up book. Oh, her follow up book is called Made Whole. So it gets back to that. So this is a signed copy, but I'm gonna meet up with her again and have her sign this one too. It's just kind of like a personalize it, you know. There's a difference between just getting a signed copy and personalized. Because the other book was personalized for me. So that's that. And then we also talked about making sure that you build your habits, understanding the way how you learn and you internalize things. This is the book to kind of help you out with. This is called The Power of Habit. I want to make sure that you actually know who you are and doing what you need to do so that you can be the best person, because there's a lot of propaganda going on out there. There's a lot of things, a lot of people trying to sell you things. A lot of people are doing just some weird stuff, and if you're not careful, you can fall into the trap. So make sure that you follow that. And then we also talked about the art of asking. So the art of asking, just so that you can ask better questions and be a better interviewer, and also a good guest too. It's okay. All right, so let's go back to the questions. Okay, yeah, Lisa's show is different. You two make a dynamic duo. Oh man, thank you, Daryl. Greatly appreciate the comment, because Lisa and I does have. I guess you could say we have some good times talking about stocks. She's very interesting. Let's see. I found Dr. Sav from your show tonight. Oh, nice. And Daryl, you all over the place. I might have to have you on the show just to kind of talk about your business. And I will not ask you. So tell me about yourself. I hate that question. Sorry. Um, okay, talk to your alter ego. Yes. Talking to your alter ego is definitely something that we should all have that conversation with. On like, I know they keep saying fake it till you make it, but it's actually one of the things that you need to start thinking about is what would an alter ego look like? How do you dress? How do you show up? How does that alter ego? How does that Clark Kent moment versus the Superman moment? How does that show up? How does the Batman versus Bruce Wayne? What does that look like? What does the Flash versus um what is the Flash name? Barry. Got his last name. I know he's married to Isis. Yeah, whatever. Whatever Barry's last name is for the Flash. Yep, the budget needs to definitely a powerhouse check out. Okay, Lisa, you says I was going to make a joke about how you didn't even ask to take a picture with me in Orlando. Oh my god, really, Lisa? You bringing up old stuff? Like, Lisa, I didn't even know who you were. Like, we were both learning. Well, I was meeting Keenan and Stockmo and Larry Jones for the first time, but obviously you known them for a while, and I didn't even know you were there. So there was a lot of people at FinCon that year. Okay, yeah, I'm glad we didn't talk about that. Okay, I listened to the audiobook, The Power of Habit. Yes, such a great book. I actually am going to listen to that again. Interesting. Lisa, I think that might be Daryl. Are you saying Daryl's interesting? Let's see. That's toxic. I probably missed out what you're talking about. That's toxic, but yeah. Okay. So Mel T, you say that's interesting. How would you want that question phrased when a stranger is getting to know you? So from a podcaster perspective, if you're having a guest on the show, do your research. But I can see if you're meeting somebody face to face, we didn't get time to do any research. We just meet for the first time. Um, we can talk about anything. Like, so tell me about your fit. Like, how was your day? Like, what's been going on? Like, basically small talk, banter. I think the top three things, 'cause I think I talked about that before, was most people either have pets, they went on vacation, and they like to talk about um, themselves on like something cool that they accomplished. I know there's like an acronym out there, but those three things everybody likes to talk about. So to some degree, like if you ask me, like, "Hey, do you have any pets?" I'd be like, "No." All right, cool. Next question. Like I like, oh yeah, pets, food, and I want to say like some type of lived experience are the like top three things that people like to talk about. So, but yeah, so from a podcast perspective versus meeting in person, two different styles of meet and greets just to kind of get to know you. Also, as a podcaster, um, I used to use these, but I don't use these anymore. These used to be called pod decks. So if you new to podcasting and so forth, I used to use these because I thought they were fun. I don't even think they in business anymore, but they have like really cool questions. Um, like this one, they'll ask this question, like, what was the best present you ever received? Like, just to kind of start small talk, whatever. Um, this one here is, what do you keep on your desk or workspace area that boosts your mood? So, you know, start with other questions versus just providing. So tell me about yourself. Like, there's so many other questions you can start off with. Now, when it comes to research, I'm going to give y'all a tip for podcasters that are listening right now. When it comes to researching your guest, and I talk, yeah, use Notebook LM. Notebook LM, put all your resources in there, look up the guest name directly. If they've been around for a while, it's a lot easier to find them. All you have to do is ask it, what is the very first question I should ask this guest on this show? And it will give you several questions to ask them. I usually tell it, give me the top two questions that I should ask to start off this podcast. And then I'll kind of like make up my own thing in between, but along the same lines of the question that the AI tool provided me. So remember, use AI as an assistant, not as the actual project. Okay, let's see. Daryl said, I want to someday get a picture with Lisa. Daryl, like, that's between you and Lisa at that point. BP, don't recall it. Ned, don't try to pump Lisa up. She don't need any pumping up because she going the next time I'm on her live or if I'm in her audience, she gonna be calling me out there like that. Let's see. Fake it till you make it is saying, oh, is saying it's toxic. Yeah, I mean I know fake it till you make it is pretty toxic. However, it works on so many levels. When you think about psychology, like the mind is such a powerful thing. That's the reason why the placebo effect works so well, because you can actually tell somebody like, hey, you know what? Actually, I would say this. This will be an experiment for all of you, especially the ladies. If you see a guy that has on, I don't know, if they wearing a jacket or they got their hair cut and you haven't seen their haircut in a while or whatever, or they got on some really nice shoes, saying like, yeah, I really like those shoes. They really make you stand tall. You'll actually notice that they'll start standing taller. They'll wear their shoes a little bit more than what they did before. or they wore a jacket. It's like, yeah, that jacket really makes you seem like like, you look really important, or you look very confident with that jacket on. You'll see their posture change. So I want you to think about that. Like compliments go a long way. It's in a sense, I guess you could say, projecting a false narrative, even though it's not their true selves. But they will show up. Most guys love a compliment. I could tell you that. I like compliments all day. Especially when I got my boots. Oh yeah, BP, they couldn't stop me with my boots. Once I got my boots from Texas, couldn't tell me nothing. I wore them joints every day. Even my feet was hurting by the time I got home, but I wore them as much as possible. So just saying. All right, Dale, you say themselves in life experiences, family, friends, and other people, work, and school. Yes, 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 yes. It's always a great place as far as small intros. And Lisa, don't bump her head up too much. Um, BP, we're about to end this live because you trying to start stuff now. Anyway, he said build confidence instead of faking it. Well, I mean, some people just need to start. Like, think about it. When somebody goes to the gym and they started off with just doing 10 push-ups or 10 lifts with the 5 pounder, they might, are they really faking working out or are they really working out? But remember those micro moments in the mentality to feel as though that they actually doing something and giving them praise along the way, you skyrocket somebody's trajectory, even if you don't even know it. So you got to think about like really faking it really does work. If you fake laugh right now, y'all can fake it right now. You can fake laugh right now and then it'll become an actual laugh. There is a whole TED talk about a lady studying that. So I'm telling you, faking it till you make it, it really works. Just show up as your alter ego. It might become your thing. Because remember, think about Beyonce. She started off with her alter ego, what called Sasha Fierce or something like that, right? Sasha Fierce? Sasha? I don't know. How you ever say it? It's Sasha Fierce. Until that Sasha Fierce person became her. And now it's just Beyonce. She doesn't talk about the alter ego anymore because it became who she is. So, yeah, create an alter ego, create the fake it till you make it person until you actually make it. And that's the whole point of it. That's because dudes aren't used to getting compliments. That is true. That is true. Most guys aren't used to getting compliments, especially from any woman. This is kind of like, even if we're not interested in them, but the fact that we got a compliment, we would talk about that compliment all day. Everything could be bad against the world. We be like, man, I don't care. But she said I look tall when I wore this shirt. I wore this shirt. Or I got on this jacket. I look cool. She said I look cool. Like, it doesn't even matter who said it. But the fact that somebody said it and they recognize the effort that you put in, oh, I see you. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, yeah. You're doing your thing. That is the way to kind of boost confidence and boost the fake it till you make it out of the house. And ladies, it's a really cheat code. If you looking out for dating, ultimate cheat code. Just tell a guy they look good today. You ain't gotta say nothing else. They probably even buy you a drink just because you gave them a compliment and actually took time out to talk to them. Like it's ridiculous. I tell myself that I'm wealthy before I build wealth. See, boom. Let me give you some air horns with that one. I like that. Let's get you some air horns. Cause, dude, I like that one. Where my air horns at? There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because you know what I'm saying? You gotta look out where you want to be. And also the reason why I say that's good is because you start thinking, what do wealthy people do? What do they eat? What do they look like? How do they dress? What do they drive? What time do they wake up? What time do they go to sleep? What are people that they keep around in their circle? You know what I'm saying? You start thinking to yourself, how many people do they cut off? What do they don't do? What do they invest in? How are their investments are set up? Are they getting dividends? How are they getting paid? So when you say your alter ego, that's what I'm talking about. You got to know everything. What is it? How do they walk down the street? How do they greet people? Do they greet first? They like, hey, my name is so and so. Do they give that firm handshake? What are they doing as your alter ego that you're not doing right now? So, yes, fake it till you make it. Change your life until it becomes reality. I love it. Let's see. That's the little wins we had to celebrate. I was talking about earlier. See, comes full circle. It's the reason why I like doing this show. Like, we all learn a little something about ourselves. We all grow together, and I just can't think of enough of this. Let's see. That's building confidence, but I digress. I mean, but BP, really, when you think about it, if your current self doesn't have confidence, you will create confidence through faking it. And it's okay to fake it until you become confident. So even if it's a false confidence, you had it for a moment. I'll take you for a perfect example. Space Jam. I'm not sure if you're old enough to see Space Jam, but the very first Space Jam, not the crap one that LeBron James was in, but the very first one with Michael Jordan. For the All-Star game, they were all drinking water, thinking it was magic juice. They were performing like crazy out there, and then they realized that it was water. And I was like, "Oh man!" And then they wound up losing around that time frame, so they had to find it back in themselves, providing another quote unquote confidence. But the confident self could have another alternate ego. The same thing for when we budgeting. We give our older selves, when we start looking for retirement, we give our older selves a name. What is our alter self, our older self looking like when we get older? How are we moving? What we have in our circles? What type of money or income are we having? What are our investments looking like? Back to the same exact thing. How are they operating? So that helps out. If you want to help out your older self, you need to start thinking about the stuff that you're doing right now so that you can start building that level up. So I want you to think about that. How many millionaires are in your phone? Currently, well, that is a good question to ask. Like if you're a millionaire building wealth, I'll say in my phone, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think I have like at least 10 millionaire phone numbers that I have. So, I know millionaires. I call them up, you hang out. So it's just kind of like one of those things that you just got to think about. I think mine is, I think we need to normalize compliments. Yeah, I totally agree. We need to give each other more compliments. And instead of, because it's one thing to validate yourself and look for validation within yourself, but then for it to be reflected by others and others are seeing it, that's also another way of saying, like, it's another form of flattery. And I think that's really one of the things that we can normalize doing that. But I'll actually challenge you. How are you normalizing it in your life? How are you taking time out to share with your family or friends about, giving them compliments, even if it's small, and even if they feel like they don't deserve it, because your kids will get doing some bad stuff, but giving compliments. I need it. I need that book. I need the physical. There's a book that I used when I was teaching. You're talking about giving compliments. You just don't want to give compliments. Oh, you did a good job. You want to give exact compliments. Oh, you did a good job folding the clothes, or you did a good job vacuuming today. Oh, I like the way how you um, washed the clothes and folded them and put them away. So when you give in compliments, give more detailed compliments. That actually goes a lot further than just saying, "Oh yeah, hey, you did a good job." Good job at what? Think about that when you give a negative feedback as well. Negative feedback, you being more specific. I want you to be as specific as you are with a negative comment as you are with a positive comment and compliment. That really takes the key. All right, because the mindset was negative and locked the truth. That's one way of looking at it. I hear you. It's cold world out there. You made it where you fake it. That's true. That's so true. Let's see. I like that you were able to start counting them immediately. Yeah, because that's one of the challenges. That can actually be something you can start doing too. Um, oh yeah, the millionaires in my phone. Yeah, it's when you start moving differently and you surround yourself in different circles, you'd be surprised on who is actually in your circle. Um, and how often do you really talk to them? How do you reach out to them? How do you support them? How do you compliment them? And you'd be surprised they will actually compliment you and support you in any which way that you need. So it's a give and take relationship. And that's how we want to do with our money as well. So yeah. Um Daryl, is one of the things about knowing your circle. You gotta know them, know who they are, what they do, know their lifestyles. Because one of the things is that knowing who they are, what they do, it kind of gives you a reality like, hey, it's not really that far fetched. It's not, um, and most of the time they very simple people. They lock in what they love to do. They do it. They don't look it. I can tell you that. But they just enjoy life. And I can tell you this, I love the party. Anything outside the normal, like day to day, is like, let's go have some fun. And they for it, you know. They like to be entertained, just like you and I like to be entertained. And again, we all put our shoes on together. We all put our pants on one leg at a time. What else is there to look out for? Let's see. BP. This will probably be the last question I'm gonna take because I need to get some sleep. And let's see. Challenge yourself by giving a number of thorough compliments a week. Yes, I think that would be a good challenge. Like, how many did you actually give? Which brings back to a good point. When it comes to wealth, I want to bring that topic up because we are talking about a Money Monday. When it comes to wealth, thank you, Lisa, for hanging out. Really appreciate you. One thing that comes to wealth, I'm gonna end off with this, is that people who are wealthy are more likely to give. So somebody who is very confident in themselves and have a wealth of confidence, they are more than likely will praise somebody else on what they're doing. If somebody is full of love, you can tell they're full of love because they'll love you immediately when you come into their space. They tell you, I love you. They will hang out with you, they'll support you. Somebody who is wealth of knowledge when it comes to reading, and especially if they wealth of knowledge of a particular topic, I'm gonna put it out there: football. You know, I think what the Super Bowl is coming up, they will share the endless moments of time about football team and who's playing on it and who's the coach and who owns this team and how much money they get in this and what their stats are. Right? I don't follow sports. I don't know it. However, but people who are a wealth of knowledge will pour and continuously pour. You're like, look, my cup overfloweth with knowledge that I don't really want. But that's because they love it and they have a big cup. of knowledge about a particular topic. They will give that to you. So when it comes to understanding, even for me, as I'm learning finance and I'm still continuously learning different areas of finance, I'm pouring back into you and I'm pouring back into my audience, and that is my goal. And that's the reason why I ask you all, what do you want to know? What are you searching for so that I can go ahead on and either pull out a resource, find somebody who's an expert in that particular area, or if I need to, I will create a product so that you can have it, so that you can share it with yourself and your family, so you can have your confidence. So I want you to say, I wish you all the best. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see y'all next week. I'm out. Peace. And outro music.